So about a week ago, we discovered that Duel Links was going to be getting a brand new box, and in preparation for that, I decided to visit Duel Links meta. Because I have absolutely no idea what's been happening in this game the last 3 months. No particular reason for that. So it turns out that Phantom Knights are currently doing extraordinarily well, considering they are 4 times the current power level of the next contending deck. Well, what if I told you that there's a deck that just got insanely buffed from the latest box, that slaps that deck about as hard as Will Smith at the Oscars? So here's today's deck list. Now just a reminder, if you enjoy this kind of content, want to see more of it, or just find it useful in any way, make sure to let me know by leaving a like on the video down below and consider subscribing to the channel whilst you're down there. The more people that do so, the more people that let me know that you actually want to see this kind of content, and therefore I'll just make more content like this. Especially considering I kind of did the intro for this video a little bit different today, so feedback on that would be appreciated. Alright, let's get into the deck list. So today's deck list it's a pretty straightforward Gravekeeper list. There's not much really for me to go through, as you would have seen most of this stuff before. It's your typical activate Necrovalley, have your guys on board, summon your big fusion monster, and then your opponent just kind of concedes from there. But the difference is there are 2 new cards added to this list. First of all, we have Commandant. This card is insane for the art type, and not even just for the art type. You can run this outside of the art type if you just want Necrovalley that badly, which, as you guys know, Necrovalley, probably one of the most powerful floodgates in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! That just stops your opponent using the graveyard at all. And this card is just a discard from hand, search for it. The other new card is Imperial Tombs of Necrovalley. This card is pretty straightforward, it's a counter trap. Basically, whenever your opponent activates a spell, trap, a monster effect, whilst you have both a Gravekeeper monster and Necrovalley on board, you just negate it. Very simple stuff. Honestly, I was just kind of testing out this trap card as I'm not entirely sure whether or not it's worth running in this list in particular. It's kind of slow, it's useless going second, and it's also kind of has a bit of a requirement attached to it, as opposed to just running a Floodgate trap hole, for example. My testing with it has shown that it's been quite good, but it is kind of early testing. I'm not sure if this card will stay in the list, whereas Commandant obviously is guaranteed to stay. But if you don't want to run this card, you don't have to. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the decklist portion of the video. The rest of the video will be gameplay, showcasing the decklist in action. Remember, if you enjoyed this kind of content, want to see more of it, make sure to let me know down below. And yeah, let's jump right into it. So today I have 4 replays to show you guys. Of the 4 replays, I tried to get decklists that were, or against decklists that were reasonably decent, because the rank I was playing at was Plat 4, as it was kind of end season, and yeah, I haven't been playing much Duel Links recently. But anyway, the decklist did go 9 wins and 1 loss. I know the rank was reasonably bad, but hey, at least the decklists we were going against were pretty good, even if the player base was kind of average. So his decklist is definitely good enough to climb with. Whether or not it's good enough for King of Games or tournament level, that kind of stuff is kind of unknown at the moment. I would say it's definitely good enough to climb with, and if you want to get King of Games with it, it probably won't struggle to do so, especially considering getting King of Games now in today's day and age is generally pretty easy. Alright, let's get into the actual replays. Alright, so this first replay, I'm pretty sure I misplayed a couple times, but I'll point out the misplays I did. I think it was against Magnet, which is currently tier 3. Alright, so first thing we did, discard our boy, search for Necrovalley. Then we're going to use our throne, search for our boy here, Mr. Descendant. This is because we're going to put Descendant in the graveyard for a fusion summon in a second, which means he's technically searched for in that the next card I'm going to add at the end of the turn could then search for a guy that can resummon him. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you do get this guy in the graveyard, it's generally pretty good, because you won't have to search for him later, is kind of what I'm getting at. Alright, it's for Necrovalley, so our fusion monster comes into effect. Spiritualist, fusion summon, Supernaturalist. End of turn, after the his effect, we search for what should be another spell card. This is my major misplay of the game. Should have searched for Necrovalley Throne here. Shouldn't have searched for this card at all, because Throne can just search for this card. I didn't do that in any other replays, but for some reason this one I searched for the monster. I was just getting too excited for myself. Alright, Cosmic Cyclone. And here's like where the misplay kind of comes back to bite me in that, oh, I can't search for another Necrovalley now because I have this card in hand, so I just hope I draw it. But yeah. Because Necrovalley is pretty good against magnets. I use my Floodgate on his monster because I don't want him to tribute it, because if he tributes his monster, it means his trap cards, which are generally cards that bring back stuff from the grave, would all be active, and I don't want that. I don't want him to get his, fill up his graveyard too quickly. Summon my boy, special summons back the Descendant from grave. Descendant can then tribute the guy, destroy the field spell, end a turn searching for the throne that we should have searched for on the previous turn. Summons this guy, passes the turn, can't really do a whole lot. There's our Necrovalley, and from there, my opponent's game plan is pretty doomed, because the Necrovalley on board, if he's got no cosmics, it's over. Just gonna swing into all his stuff, he tries to do some tributes, I'm gonna be negating that. And then when he tries to activate the powerful rebirth, which we predicted at the start, it just gets negated. Alright, so pretty good showing versus Magnet, which is one of the main decks this deck does aim to counter, especially considering Magnets are slow, so even going second, this deck is still okay into Magnets. This deck isn't like completely dead going second, I shouldn't be too rough on it, but it's just not as good going second, because if you don't have your Necrovalley active and your opponent just makes all these plays, then it's kind of like, oh, it's kind of pointless, you know? So the Floodgates are there to try and stop your opponent making the plays, not let them kind of fill up their board, then activate it kind of thing. So opponent's going to do a bunch of Phantom Knight stuff, which is a deck which obviously is heavily reliant on its graveyard. Unfortunately, he went first, which is not great. That's alright, because we definitely make the comeback here, spoiler alert. Not really much of a comeback. Activate Necrovalley, Fusion Summon into Spiritualist. He then Fogblades it, which is going to negate its effect. For some reason he didn't negate the Fusion Summoning card, maybe he just wanted me to use more resources or something. Either way, now he has got a 2500 attack monster he needs to deal with at some point. Which by the looks of things he can't deal with, considering he can't use his graveyard, so if he activates his Dante, sends some stuff to the grave, it won't do anything. Search for our Headman. Oh, activate Headman. Bring back Spiritualist. Go into our guy. Now we could have used our Supernaturalist on board already as part of the Fusion Summon, but I'm kind of scared about my opponent's back row, so I'm kind of wanting to keep something on board as a bit of a shield in case he has some kind of removal for this, which he had a Book of Moon. But yeah, didn't quite want to use this just yet. Now that I've kind of cleared out some of the back row and I've already got a monster on board, I'm happy to Fusion Summon using it, making an even bigger Supernaturalist. There he delays the turn a little bit, but the game was already over as soon as I activated Necrovalley and nothing to remove it. This is just how strong this deck is versus Phantom Knights, by the way. Phantom Knights struggle so much against this. It is a nasty. And there's the concede. Absolutely disgusting counter versus Phantom Knights, which, as I pointed out in the intro, is currently, I'm not sure if it's the most popular deck on the ranked ladder, but in tournament play, it's by far the most popular deck, so. Alright. I forgot who we were playing against. I know there was a Cyber Dragon at some point. Was it this guy? He's not playing the Cyber Dragon character, so probably not.
Duel.
What were you playing, buddy? Alright, so discard, searching for Necrovalley. Supernat, it's all the same stuff you've already seen. Fusion Summon out your boy. And this is also why, by the way, I'm running, because I know there's a lot of people only running one Headman. I don't like that, as I kind of want to be able to, if I happen to draw the Headman in my opening hand, I want to be able to Fusion Summon, and then still have the ability to search for another Headman later on. So that's why I'm running two of it, by the way. Not that there's many Gravekeeper monsters that useful anyway, so. Searching for our throne and passing the turn. Oh yeah, there we go. Alright. So he summons his Deneb. I'm not going to activate my Floodgate Trap Hole, because I'm waiting for my opponent to use his Sky Bridge, which he had one, activates his Sky Bridge. Let him summon out his stuff, tries to go into his Batlamius, and that's when we're going to Floodgate it, completely ruining his turn so he can't return my stuff to hand, and passing. I just changed my Supernaturalist. A bit annoying, but we've got another throne, so. Throne, just going to search for the other Headman. Headman, and bring back the Fusion Lady. And there we go. And he concedes. Because again, Tellarknights is also a deck that's pretty reliant on their graveyard, because the main way they Exceed summon is by using the monsters in their graveyard by summoning Altair. So Necrovalley stops that, your opponent can't do anything, they concede. Alright, final gameplay. And this was the Cyber Dragon gameplay, which I don't think was that great of a gameplay, but it still showed Necrovalley in action against a deck that it's kind of weak to Necrovalley. It just depends on if they have, like, if you have your fusion monster out when you get Necrovalley out so they can't destroy your stuff. Because sometimes they can just fusion summon out their monster and then just destroy your Necrovalley before it can stop them fusion summoning stuff. Then again, some of their fusion spells require the graveyard, so... Alright, pretty dead hand unfortunately, but it doesn't matter too much because if he removes this, we have Descendant in hand anyway to bring it back. There's a bunch of Cyber Dragon-y stuff. We do have Book of Moon ready in case we need it. Repair part, adding another Cyber Dragon. Now we can summon out his Xyz monster. And his Xyz monster actually has an effect which tries to bring back stuff from the graveyard, which we've got Necrovalley on board, so that effect's just negated, which means its effect is basically negated. We summon our Headman, bring back our boy. He Book of Moons it. I'm not really sure why I brought this card back rather than trying to go for like a fusion play or something this turn, because I don't want to destroy this monster, because if you don't know, when you destroy this monster via card effect, it brings out a monster from the extra deck, so... Pardon me. When you destroy it, it brings out a card from the extra deck, so I don't really want to destroy it with this card, so I'm not really sure. Either way, I baited out a Book of Moon by accident, so we'll take it. Now, it may look like our opponent's kind of bricking here, but he hasn't really bricked. It's likely the back row he's got there is like the trap card that banishes from graveyard, or a fusion spell that needs to use the graveyard to fusion summon, and he just can't. He's got Necrovalley on board. So these two back row cards in a normal matchup are probably really usable. It's just in this particular one, they're just completely dead. Alright, Necrovalley Throne, searching for our Spiritualist. Spiritualist, fusion summon straight into our fusion monster. And from here, yeah, our opponent's pretty doomed because he has some insane top deck. And even then, we have a Omni Negate ready, so... And he concedes. Alright, so that's going to do it for today's gameplays. I hope you guys enjoyed them. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, hope to see you in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob? Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis. Oh.